Welcome back. Kaguya being a show where, well, almost anything can happen and nothing ever happens. With the president declaring his future ambitions going to Stanford, higher education, moving on. Time seems to flow so rapidly. But it's not just him, is it? Ishigami's making strides, even if he doesn't understand it himself. And the cultural festival is thoroughly underway. Is there going to be some magic in the air, or are we going to be left horribly disappointed? There's only one way to find out. Yep. Any news like that, she would petrify on the spot, her entire life getting flipped upside down for what she thought it would be. But he succeeded. It went through. They really don't have any extra time. Act proud for him, pleased about his accomplishment. Hide her disappointment and fear for when she's alone. Did she take the letter with her? And with being highly educated and going to Stanford, already a prestigious school here, going into somewhere like that, from such, you could say, humble origins that he has, how hard has he worked? We've seen him wear himself to the bone with the effort that he's put in, which is almost entirely just down to gaining a certain person's favour, but what better reason to do well? Come with me, please. They have more important matters than the schools. And the classes, events and whatnot. Will uproot his plans. No, I know you're doing well, but you need to stay here. Are you trying to send her into some sort of spiral? Does she... Is she so heartless? We've seen using people for her own advantage, but the present... Hit the nail on the head there. But make the use of everything, all the time you have now. actually have to confront it. She's grown so much. Like a proud parent she is. She's not going to do it for you, but... Really, having to come up with some... It's like she's trying to sell her a contract. I mean, he's already infatuated with her. I don't think you need to show... Well, she's on board. And where does this lead off onto? Ah, yes. Was it... Close? Try again. Maybe write a script. Yes, let matters of the heart be written by someone else. Otherwise it's disingenuous. You want... Simple, but... Okay. Having to actually... using the vagueness of the Japanese language in some ways. Having to explain what you mean. Still not good enough. So, really giving her a... I don't think we're going for like an Oscar-winning performance. All we need to do is make sure that what's being said isn't misconstrued. It's just pretty much everything. Pick any certain time of day or emotion. You see, this is... like, matters coming from the heart. She didn't realize just how... it's not just a trifling fancy or a crush. Well, now we have to search high and low. He's gone missing. Also, that glare from Mackie. How many more places could there possibly be? Well, you say that, but it looks like... Screw you, Ishigami. So thoughtful, isn't he? Nothing at all like what the boy he was back in the other, previous school. Getting into fights and the like. Maybe. He's well versed in these trees. With flowery language. I mean, everyone has things that they're interested in. I don't see why you would need to disparage someone for one of their interests. So I was right. You'll be the buffer. There's a lot more to him than what immediately meets the eye. Although what immediately meets the eye is pretty much right on point. Especially when he's complaining and playing games in the council room. But this one is unique as a kind of plans for the future. Does he even know what the answer, the question was? Well, he's just standing there going, what's going on? What? So now he's just going to kind of assuage her. Ah, yes, that's it. Having to wait so long to see the flower blooming. Picking a month to say, yeah, it's fine. He's so understanding. Maybe that will work in his favour. One way how to end a conversation. Is this the play that was being talked about? Where did the hoops go? Somehow had managed to be completely oblivious about the legends surrounding the school. I mean, I don't believe there was ever a gymnastic play made in my high school. To be fair, I don't even think there was a gymnastic part of the club or anything, but Ishigami, you're gonna miss the acting if you're crunched up in a ball on the floor. Sit still, you're distracting others. He is all over the place, and it seems quite easy to distract him from his worries immediately. We're starting the bonfire as per, Ino's wishes. Don't get distracted. Make sure the arrow is straight and true. Yeah, completely unperturbed. Yeah. Yes, it is just another part of the plan. With everything waiting for the perfect opportunity for the Phantom Thief to make a reappearance. Who and what indeed? And for what reason? The game is on. Yep. How could they... You have no option in this. We need to go on... Go and investigate the mysterious goings-on. This Arsene is really causing trouble. Yeah, it's just way too... playing along with her and her... Any thieves out there want to confirm? You can tell that? Who would use inorganic paper? Who would go to this extent? How much of it is unnecessary information? Are you really going for longitude, latitude, and it's going to be somewhere out in the South Pacific, or is it something much more simple than this? She has figured something much more. She has somewhere to be. And with such high spirits in the air. Was it never actually that involved, that complicated? I did for a brief moment think about issues about scattering things around, but I mean, she's talking a big game as though she has worked it out, so let's hope it's not another empty room or something she walks in on. I mean, she looks credible, but yeah. For her, it's... She has a certain confidence in everything she does. Because she needs to be there. She needs to be the one to find him. Well, we will find out soon. Do you have any coffee to take along? Even in a metaphorical sense. I hope she's ready for it. No. I like this kind of... I'm not sure what you would call it. The music with the backing notes. It seems somewhat mystical. You would be at the highest point. And of course with all the clock faces, and you'd be at the clock tower. The coffee! Damn it, beverage company. Really? We're getting some Macarena version of old school Disney animation. Now he just needs to hope that he's done well enough and she's invested enough to actually go along with his plans and damn. Having gone to these extremes. Hopefully they don't miss each other at the last second. I mean, it's a red moon. The red moon rises. Ishigami going to give a bit of congratulations after a successful play, successful acting. wait for the perfect opportunity, a good time. Ah, that's where it went missing. Of course, right now, the fun and games are at an end because time is of an essence. But where would he get such a fanciful hat? Where can I acquire one? After being accepted into Stanford, he's just gone off the rails. Yes, it's him that is part of the issue there. And because it is, as he said, his last, he isn't one to back down right now. As she takes a deep breath, smelling him from the cloak. Quite a lot, I should assume, but is she going to be able to keep all this wanting, all this internal monologue to herself? I see. The fact that she is looking inward from where we saw the flashback where he kind of fell for her. It was seeing what people could be of use. I mean, is she able to verbalize any of this internal turmoil? I see his character is slipping. Just, don't... Well, she was practicing so hard. You might have added that one in. He's still... I mean, if we could read people's minds and know the outcomes of things, then I think life would be a lot easier, but... Does he have a major... That's a stolen object! Last-ditch spectacle. Is it going to be like the fireworks bit where it's a mystical... Oh, everyone's dead. The stolen balloons. Not only a gift for Kaguya herself, but I guess everyone can be like, oh, that's neat. And with the cultural festival being about the legend of the hearts and the like, I think this is going a bit above and beyond. But think of all the wasted balloons and rubber that would be left about the city. Hope they're biodegradable. And certainly knowing the future, knowing what you have in store, will make you more focused. Wait, what was that? Yep, yeah, I was about to say, his sense of style never faltered, did it? Now, how can he achieve that? But if there was anyone in the school, anyone that would go to the lengths, anyone that would be able to carry out something like this. I mean, the fact that he came up with a plan like this, and all fail-safes, making sure that Sheikah doesn't get in the way. Did Ishigami just quickly get out his tablet and start recording? I mean, you probably would want video evidence of this. There's not many events like this that would come about in your lifetime. Yeah, and as far as wordless spectacles and the like go, I think this gets across a point pretty well. Get rid of all the foreground, mid-ground. Just have them floating in space with the hearts. Floating towards the moon. Really living up to the Princess Kaguya story. They have their worries and everything that they are. A single blue balloon. Who blew up that one? Good that it was within arm's reach. Oh, you're working it out. I would say there might be a slight coincidence, but for the council president, she's getting a bit worked up herself there. You okay? Doesn't it? It's not often we see the principal. He called in help. Two letters of recommendation. Well, giving her a letter of recommendation for her to achieve anything that she wants, then give her a step up for the future. Really? Huh. Not a year's time. Is he really planning on bringing her along? You know, if that's a possibility. It does seem a little ridiculous when you think about it, but... I mean, there is one major outcome I can think of. His wish. Just being able to... be next to her. To stay with her. That guitar actually was a bit louder than I imagined. Thinking of all the reasons why it might be a bad idea now. Don't falter. Is it within her wish to actually attend? But if it's a matter like this, how could she spend a while pondering it? Have to wait until March to give an answer. It is moving a little quickly. But if this is the future that is being planned, she won't be working it out alone. Can she claim her prize now? I think things are going a lot better than I imagined they would. Yeah, I see where you're coming from, girl. We have so many people enjoying themselves, having the... And yet hearing that from her. Did any light come back into her eyes? At least she took the hand to dance there. Wait, so she's the one that... she's the one that got this planned, got it all in action, the campfire, and yet she can't... she's not there to experience it. Of course. Of course. Always... Yoshigami? Always helping her out when needed. Ah. I mean, couldn't you have waited? I mean, he's not a shining prince, let's be honest. That's why he was recording it. Not for prosperity, but so she could see it. It's good to see them getting on for once. Yep, just keep plugging in those formula. I'm sure something will work. Maybe there's a hidden lever amongst them. Excuse me? Miracle, yeah. Having a hidden room. I feel like this could be actually really useful. What are they going to witness? Balloon! It might have been too much for her. Well, we may have lost one student, but overall, it's been one hell of a season. Didn't think we'd get a Bible verse, but she died with such a content look on her face. Even if it is lost property, someone gave her a heart in the festival. Those damn balloons. After everything that we've experienced to get to this point, with the multiple victories, losses, draws, and what it took in the end, acting a bit outside of one's comfort zone, pushing for what you want. Going to the moon. Could you get clearer? But now that your plan got to where it was, all said and good during the moment, but getting her into Stanford. Well, let's hope he doesn't hyperventilate by the end of it. Did things go well? Might not be able to tell. Yes, go into detail. Tastes like lemons. I suppose, yeah, the last thing you ate would be a bigger impact. It makes so much sense now you put it that way. Get these things away from me. I mean, we saw... Yeah, what... Did someone feed us some false information? Well, that's a reference, but... That's some impressive shadow puppetry. Going in a bit strong. Maybe that's why it left such an impact on him. Don't take away from her enjoyment right now. Almost. Huh? She faltered right at the last hurdle. Of course, that was the whole point of it, wasn't it? If it's not put into words, how could she ever be sure? Well, she set her mind to it now. He made the big, elaborate plan, so now it's maybe her time. Ultra romantic. Well, one thing I know is that seeing this has put a hamper in any future plans that I would ever have, because how the hell do you top something like that? And with everyone seeming to have a good time there, the festival leaving an impact on so many of them. How are they all going to go forward now? I have a feeling that Ishigami and Ino are going to get back to the usual routine of insulting each other pretty soon after this, but right now, yeah, we can enjoy that they're on friendly terms. Oh, the flowers are blossoming. It's business as usual. Almost as if nothing has changed. Happy Life Game Mark II. Are you, they're having their own game and doing quite well at it, I would say. Really. The slow pan down to something so vulgar. But a payoff for 3 seasons. And really, so much planning. We've had several episodes of the Phantom Thief and it all being set in motion. And for the payoff to be this extravagant, it was almost worth having to go around and steal every heart-shaped balloon across the school. But also, how long would it take to go around and take them all without anyone noticing? I mean, you'd have to do it after school hours, and then who would agree to that? Maybe why she was so tired. Got to do it in the dead of night. With the games not actually over, because we still need a confession. That war is going to wait for another, while, but having the will they, won't they, who's going to cave first being sorted, being answered for us in such a conclusion. I'm a swirl of emotion. There's so much to think about, so much to go over. The confessions, one working out quite well, one being put on hold. Ishigami actually realising what he's done now, realising that the questions... hang on, what, you weren't talking about going to watch the flowers bloom? And the fact that she is putting in so much thought into it, and not just outright rejecting the idea. Wanting to get to know Ishigami first. At least a little. Of course, that's probably a good idea when you're thinking about getting romantically linked with someone. So, if you have grand ambitions and plans, whether it to go to higher education elsewhere in a different country, or to see a campfire with friends, both are obtainable if enough effort is put in, I guess. You just need to make sure if there's anyone like Fujiwara around, come up with an idea of how to keep them away. I think that's the main one I'm going to take to heart from watching all of this. And I guess when you love someone, it's okay to be a little selfish to obtain what you want as well. But not impeding on them, holding them back. Growing, I guess, together is definitely one way of doing it. His ability to just be like, yeah, you want to come to Stanford as well, don't you? If it was anyone else, I'd start to question it, but it might just be possible. Of course, if there is a future season and, well, maybe 2 future seasons, we still have some time left, and they do end up going to Stanford, having to swap out all the cast of characters that we know of, that we've grown to love. Would be an interesting turn of events. Life doesn't really stay the same. Things change, people grow, people leave. And just like after high school, there are so many people I've lost touch with, never spoken to again. Never thought about until now. All I know is that after everything that I've seen, second half of that especially, my heart is aflutter. I'm not sure how I'd feel if someone went to such extravagant lengths. In public it would be a little embarrassing, but maybe, on the top of a rooftop amongst the stars. Yeah. Really. If you were to expose your heart, reach for what you want in the future, what you wish for, I hope it goes well. You might not have to fight for things as much as some of the games we've seen being played here. Might be for the best. If you enjoyed this one, really let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below, consider subscribing. Get yourself a bit of rest. I'm always gonna be here, watching questionable anime, so we can enjoy it together. See you in the next one. My patrons definitely are more than just one of the 1,000 hearts floating through the air. So if you really want to affect my life, my emotions, consider joining on to my Patreon. Help out the channel a little. I don't think we'll be reaching Stanford anytime soon, but we can at least sit back and enjoy the show. So, I need to thank Ledricant, Noku, Raywin, Kite, Sal, Arthea, Shiwan, Mats, Gurley, Cardboard, Croyville, Ginterman, Dark Shadow 7899, Mega42 and everyone else for really making the past few years memorable.